Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Sarah. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. The likes, the comments, I really appreciate it. Thank you, and God really bless you. Today we have a special topic we are going to treat today as well, and it's by name how to control fever in infants in the house before transporting the child to hospital. It could be in the midnight you are sleeping, or anything, just to control the fever before transporting the child to hospital. And also in the house, how to control the fever in infants. You know, babies are very sensitive. So the least thing, anything, then the body starts reacting. And fever is one of it. One, how are you going to control the fever? It could be sometimes from where you are staying to the hospital is very far, and it could also be in the midnight. So these are the things you are going to do before you transport the child to hospital. One, you can do tepid sponge. When I say tepid sponge, you can just put towels in water, lukewarm water. Please don't forget. We shouldn't just pour cold water on the child like that. The water should be lukewarm. It's not warm. At the same time, it's not cold. And then you put in 4 or 6 towels. Then you just place one on the forehead of the child. You know, we have places that heat generates in our body. There are certain places, especially your armpits, your forehead, your groins as well, and also in between your back. These places that I just mentioned is very warm. So when a child or anybody is suffering from fever, this place becomes very hot. So these are the things you can do in order to minimize the fever before you take the child to hospital. Mind you, I'm going to tell you, you cannot just do it in your mind that you'll be thinking, oh, I just did it so the child is okay. No, you are just trying to control, to manage the fever before it gets to abnormal stage. So what you can do is just be placing towels in these places that I just mentioned. After a while, you'll be turning it, then you put it in the water again. You place it on the same place again, especially the forehead, the armpit, the groins, around your neck, and also on the chest or in between, in order to reduce the fever. Just as I said, do not pour warm water on the child. Most of the time, because the child is having fever, you just remove the clothes of the child and then you start by pouring water on the child. Please, it's very wrong. So these are the things you are going to do. Just as I said, you'll be putting these towels on these places, just as I mentioned. And if you realize the fever is still going up, you can see it's still shooting up, you just remove the child's clothes. Then I told you, lukewarm water. It's not cold. Don't think because the body is warm, so you start by applying this cold water just to bring the temperature down. No, it's really wrong. Most of the time, our mothers, our sisters, our daddies do this in the house all the time, thinking that it will reduce the temperature. You are also disturbing the child's brain, especially the cold water. The body is already warm. So if you want to, you see that the temperature is shooting up after doing this tepid sponge that I just mentioned. Remove the child's clothes first, especially in infants from 6 months, 7 months, 3 months. In infants, it's very, very important. You have to alert the brain. Let the brain knows that something cold or lukewarm is coming around the body. So first you just start by alerting the brain. You know, our fingertips and our toes, our feet, they are very sensitive parts. Yes, they respond to stimuli. We have nerves there that respond to stimuli very fast, and it's faster than seconds. It sends information to the brain that something is around the body. So the first thing you should do is put a little drop of water on the toes, small, then you'll be bringing it up. Alert the brain. The child will know that something is coming around. You don't just remove the child's clothes, then you pour the water on the head. You are shocking the brain. When you finish doing this, you can see that the child will be relaxing because the brain has already sent information to the body that something is around the body. Don't forget, the body is already cold. And you know what? Warm. When you are very warm, especially in fever, if there's any coldness around you, the way you withdraw yourself, you know how it is. So first alert the brain that there is some coldness around the body. Small, then you'll be bringing it up. Then on the forehead, before you drop it around the hair, after that, you can just be pouring the water on the child, small also. Just use a cup to be scooping the water and then be dropping it on the child. You see, the child will be relaxing. When you do this, after doing this, it relaxes the muscles and the brain. The child will not be jerking. Do you know, most of the time when we've just pour the water on the child, it makes them jerk, like they will be shaking and all. It will take a very long time, and you are disturbing the brain. It's like you are shocking the brain. So when you do that, they go through a lot. But what can they do? Because mother or father, auntie is trying to bring down the temperature for them, so they can't do anything. They become helpless. You see them lying down and then be jerking. So please, let's be very cautious in dealing with fever when it happens to kids. It's really important. If you follow these steps I'm talking about, you see the child will be relaxed. And so when you finish doing all this, do not wipe the child. Just put on something short for the child and then cover. If you can't put on anything, quickly, as soon as you finish, just cover the child with a towel, anything to cover the child. Then you allow the child to relax, lay down, relax, then be giving the child water to hydrate the body. It will cool down the temperature. Continue giving the child. You know, sometimes kids, when they are sick, anything you give them, they reject. Use, as a mother, there are certain things you should be having in the house. You can use syringe. You'll be drawing the water, and then as you are playing with the child, you just push a little in the mouth. Whether the syringe is 5 ml, 20 ml, whatever cc, the amount of the syringe, just draw any amount. Because we are aiming to hydrate the child. It doesn't really matter the amounts of water the child can take. All you should be putting your mind on is to hydrate the child. Because when the child is suffering from fever, they become very dehydrated. And the water too will help to cool the body down as well. So these are the steps you can follow. You don't have to be rushing. Allow the child to relax. As soon as you finish wiping with the cloth or whatever, just rub the child. Then you put the child beside you. You can be giving this zips of water. Just as I said, they cannot be taken from the cup. So this syringe will do, especially when they are very small. So after this, if you have a paracetamol syrup, Adol, just depending on the child's age. You know, when you are going to buy the syrups, you know, mothers, you should be having all this in the house just for first aid. So you just measure. It could be 5 ml, it could be 10 ml, depending on the child's age. Then you give to the child. You know, the child will be very relaxed. Yes, be very relaxed. Just allow the child to be resting, and make sure the child has also taken something. You know, during this stage, fever period, they become they lose appetite. Yes, that is it. They lose appetite. So you should be trying in different fruits. If the child doesn't like this fruit, bring another fruit. If she doesn't like this fruit, something you think they like, you be changing it. It doesn't really matter because you are giving the child rice or porridge rice. The child is refusing, so she's not eating. No, you should be trying different fruit. If the fruit the child cannot take it raw, you can blend it. Yes, you can blend it, and then you be playing with them like this, cartoons and all that. It will entice them to make them feel comfortable, and then at least we'll take something. So please, let's be very cautious in managing fever in the house, especially in infants. It's really important, so that after that there won't be any like jerking. The brain will not jerk. When these babies, when they jerk, like when they shake after this process, they become tired and very weak. You will not notice, but they are very tired and very weak. So mothers, let's be very careful on how to deal with fever in the house. Now we are going to talk about something. I decided to bring this one first because it's really important to me. Now I'm going to deal with this one, the fever. Most of the time, mothers, we try to ignore it. It's nothing. Oh, she'll be okay. In my language, they will say, it's just a normal fever, it will go. No, we have to be very careful, especially in infants. In infants, when the temperature is increasing, it affects the brain. Everything is about the brain. Yes, everything is about the brain. So if the temperature is increasing and you keep ignoring it, it will get to a stage that you, the mother, you become very confused. You start crying, and you would think it's just a normal fever. So how come the child is going through this kind of situation? Yes, my friend. This is what happens when your child develop high fever. The temperature increases. You from 37, you ignore 38, 39. Some babies can condone pain. When they are in pain, they can condone it. Others can't. It's just normal among even the adults. It's normal. Some react to pain very fast. Others, they can just bear it. Others can't. So when the temperature is increasing, you should be very careful, because if you are not able to bring down the fever, the child will develop seizures. These seizures I'm talking about, it happens to those in epilepsy as well. You know how it happens to them whenever anything, you see their body shaking like this. And you know, mothers, when it happens like this, you become scared and don't know what to do. Why is my child behaving like this? You start crying, become very confused and disturbed. But the temperature was rising. You keep ignoring. It's nothing. This is the result in infants. When your child's temperature gets to abnormal, it will cause seizures. The child will start be checking, twisting their leg, their hand. And you know how it is. Even you, the mother, you cannot concentrate. So please, let's try to bring down the fever in the house. As soon as you notice, try to give the child some first aid. Even if the child is playing, oh, she's fine, she's playing, no. Give the child a lukewarm bath. Give the child either paracetamol or Adol. And then you can transport the child to hospital. Don't just ignore it when your child is high, running, nose. These are the things that causes the body to increase in temperature in infants. So please, let's be very, very cautious. As soon as you see this, do the needful. Yes, don't think he's a child. You see, he's playing. There's nothing wrong with that. He will recover. He will be okay. And then you just allow the child to move around. So please, let's be very, very careful. And seizures, when it continues, it affects the brain as well. You know, the child's brain is now developing. So any foreign material, any foreign diseases affecting the brain can affect even the child's education. You know, some kids are very dull. It could be this small attitude of the mother that leads to all that. We should be very careful. The child's brain is forming, so we should be very careful. The kind of things we say to them, the things they do when they are sick, how we take care of them. It's also important, so that your child will become healthy as you want your child to be. So please, mothers, be very, very careful on how to deal with your child whenever they are having fever. What you can do matters a lot. Do not neglect because the child is active playing. No, she'll be okay. Yeah, as some people used to say, some mothers is, oh, I almost say yare, almost say yare, because they see, no, you have to be careful. So please, let us be very careful on how to deal with fever in infants and even in a child from 1 year going. It's also important. Let's help them to build their brains so that they will become very intelligent people. Thank you so much. I hope this little advice I just shared will do a very, very, very good to you. You will just do something about it. If you know you are not doing the right thing, please, after hearing this video, correct yourself and everything will be so perfectly for you. Will be working very, very well for you, and you will enjoy your kids just as you want them to be. So thank you so much for hearing me, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that when I put any video, gosh, you'll be the first person to know. Thank you for watching me. See you in the next video. Bye.